Freeze for 1 second. Don't move. Physics has a strange thing to say about the you sitting here right now. It might not even be the strangest version of you that exists. There could be a copy of you who took the other job, who sent that text, who stayed instead of leaving. Not metaphorically, mathematically. And that's only the 5th layer of reality. There are 11 of them. Today, we're building the universe from absolute nothing, one layer at a time. And by the end, you'll understand why the smartest physicists alive can describe 10 of those layers in precise detail and still can't tell you what the 11th actually is. Start here because it's the strangest one and almost nobody stops to notice it. Picture a single dot, not a small dot, an infinitely small one. No width, no height, no depth. If you somehow shrank down and became that dot, you wouldn't feel cramped. You'd feel nothing because there'd be no somewhere else to be cramped into. No left, no right, no anywhere. Just one point, existing alone forever. That's dimension 0. The only way out is to stretch it. Stretch that dot in one direction and you get a line. Dimension 1. Imagine an ant standing on a single wire that runs forever in both directions. Forward, backward. That's the ant's entire universe. Here's the part that should bother you. String a second wire 2 centimeters to the left, and the ant will never know it's there. Not because it's far away, because left isn't a concept the ant has access to. There could be an entire second world sitting right next to yours, and you'd never reach it. Not because something's stopping you, but because the direction to get there simply isn't part of your reality. Hold on to that feeling. In a minute, we're doing this to you. Sweep that line sideways and dimension 2 shows up. Flat space, length and width, 0 height. Like a character in an old side-scrolling video game, sliding left, right, up, down, but always trapped inside the screen. This isn't even a new idea. A British schoolteacher wrote an entire novella about a world exactly like this back in 1884. Here's the part that gets strange. Hold your finger an inch above that flat world and press down. From inside, nothing was a finger. A circle just appeared out of nowhere, grew larger, and vanished into nothing. You didn't touch their world. As far as they're concerned, you performed a miracle. Remember that. In a few minutes, you're the one living on the page. Lift that flat world up into height. And congratulations, you've arrived. Dimension 3. This is you. Right now. Depth, distance. Walking around a box to see the side you couldn't before. It feels complete, total, finished. But Flatland felt complete too, to the things living in it. They had no idea an entire direction was missing because nothing about their bodies could detect it. So here's an uncomfortable question. What if the same is true for you? What if there's a direction sitting right next to up, down, left, right, forward, and back, and your brain simply isn't wired to notice it, the same way the flat creature's brain wasn't wired to notice up? Try this for 10 seconds. Move your hand left, right, up, down, forward, back. Now try to move it in a genuinely new direction. Not a mix of the others, an actual new one. You can't. Neither could the ant. That wall you just hit is exactly what's stopping you from grasping what comes next. Because the 4th dimension isn't a direction you point to, it's one you're already traveling through. Time. Here's the part that should actually unsettle you. You think of yourself as a body sitting in a chair right now. You're not. You're a shape, a long, snaking shape that starts the moment you were born and ends the moment you die. The baby version of you, the version hearing this sentence, the version who's 80 and gray, all one continuous object, like a single loaf of bread. You only ever get to see one slice of that loaf at a time, this exact moment, right now. But something that could see in 4 dimensions wouldn't see you at 30. It would see the whole loaf at once, birth to death, laid out and finished, the way you'd look at a full loaf sitting on a counter. Which means your future, the part of you that hasn't happened yet, might already exist, fully formed, further down that same loaf. You're not walking toward it, you're just slicing through it, one moment at a time. That loaf only has the one shape though, because it only contains the choices you actually made. Delete that rule, and you fall into dimension 5. Think of every moment your life could have bent the other way. The interview you almost canceled, the move you almost didn't make, the person you almost didn't text back. In Dimension 4, only the path you walked is real. Everything else evaporates. In Dimension 5, nothing evaporates. Every fork becomes its own separate loaf, sitting right next to yours, just as real, just as solid. Somewhere in Dimension 5, there's a version of you who took the leap you didn't, living a life you'd barely recognize. Here's the twist. What if you could walk between those loaves? That's Dimension 6. Not just infinite versions of your life existing, but the freedom to move through them like doors in a hallway. Out of the version where you took the job, into the version where you turned it down, back again whenever you like. Think of it like switching save files in a game, except every save file is a full, living reality, running in parallel all the time. But wander as far as you want across that landscape. Every single one of those save files still starts from the exact same place. Same birth, same parents, same universe you opened your eyes in. There's still one thing this dimension can't touch. Dimension 7 touches it. This is where we stop talking about your life entirely and start talking about every life in every universe that could have started differently in the first place. A version of you born to different parents, on a different planet, in a universe where the Big Bang expanded a fraction faster or slower. Different gravity, different stars, maybe no galaxies at all. Each different beginning spins off its own infinite web of branching timelines, exactly like yours did. Dimension 7 holds every single one of those webs, all at once, which means one point in Dimension 7 isn't a moment, or a life, or even a universe. It's an entire infinity of universes, sharing nothing but the same starting rules. So what happens when even the starting rules are up for grabs? Dimension 8, a plane built entirely out of those infinities. Every possible universe, with every possible beginning, laid flat next to every other one. Like pages in a book that never ends, that never even had a first page. We're now well past anything your senses were built to picture, so don't feel bad if this one refuses to form an image in your head. It's supposed to. Notice something though. Every universe we've stacked up so far is still obeying the exact same physics. Gravity still pulls down. Light still has a speed limit. Time still only runs one direction. Dimension 9 is what happens when you rip up that rulebook too. A universe where gravity pushes instead of pulling, where light crawls slower than a kid on a bicycle, where time runs backward and you remember tomorrow instead of yesterday. Every possible version of physics gets its own stack of universes and histories, and Dimension 9 holds every single stack. Nothing is required to be true anywhere anymore, which leaves one move left. Take every universe, every timeline, every law of physics, every possibility that could exist under any rulebook whatsoever, and fold it into a single point. Dimension 10, everything. Here's the detail that should give you chills. The dot we started with, back in Dimension 0, was empty. This one isn't. Same shape, same size technically. A point is a point, completely different contents. This one holds literally everything that could ever be. By that logic, we should be finished. 10 sounds like a satisfying place to stop. Reality refuses to cooperate. When physicists actually sit down and try to write one single equation that correctly describes everything, atoms, black holes, galaxies, all of it, the math only balances if there's an 11th dimension folded in somewhere. Nobody can tell you what it physically is. It isn't another branching timeline. It isn't another universe. It isn't another version of physics. It's just required. A hidden ingredient the equations refuse to work without, and nobody alive can currently tell you what it's made of. Which brings us back to where we started. If something existed that could genuinely perceive all 11 layers at once, it wouldn't just see more of the universe than you do. It would stand completely outside every timeline, every possible version of you, every possible universe, every possible rulebook, and take in the entire thing in a single glance, the exact same way you're looking at one small dot on your screen right now. Whether anything like that exists, nobody knows, and nobody may ever get to.